Greetings, Earthlings. Greetings, everyone. We are back. We are recording. We have a NFL teams tier list that we were about to run through. Um, we just finished week 1 of the preseason. And Alex, really quick, go ahead and give me a nugget or two, positive or negative, that you saw this past preseason. What information can you give us?
I really like DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson from the Browns. Having him as a backup quarterback just in case the whole Deshaun Watson thing doesn't pan out seems like a pretty good, option for the Browns. He was most like fifth quarterback on some people's boards, maybe sixth. He looked really good. Another one's Aiden O'Connell from the Raiders. I don't think the Jimmy G thing's going to pan out. He's also injury prone. So I really like those two quarterbacks. It seemed like a lot of the other rookie quarterbacks kind of struggled for the most part, but those guys really turned up. And Stetson Bennett too.
Yeah. One thing, or I'll go two things. I'll go one. Regardless what anyone says, I'm happy to be right. This is what I do. This is who I am. But it feels so good to be right about Bryce Young. Like his presence, his pocket awareness, his ability to move, his ability to even absorb contact. He just has this weird way of being able to fall to the ground. And, it seemed like even though he was getting hit, he was popping right back up. So that all that malarkey about size and all that it's getting thrown out the window. He throws with anticipation. He's on point. As soon as he gets on the same rhythm with all of his ones, I think he's going to do great. And then, whatever, I get it. Preseason, one thing I told you, Alex, was like, do not look at preseason and have a hill you're going to die on because you'll look stupid. You look foolish. But with that being said, even though he's a veteran and even though it was probably not against all of the ones, what Derek Carr did with his drive that he had, like, it was just clockwork. Mm-hmm. And the Saints look, we've done this before.
Yeah. It really comes down to their coaching, I think.
Comes down to their coaching, comes down to health, but man, they could do something. This is the first time I think where Derek Carr, if Bisaccia, we've always talked about this. If Bisaccia is the head coach of the Raiders, not McDaniels, we're bigger on the Raiders. And of course, if Waller stays healthy all year, we're bigger on the Raiders. But now that Derek Carr is kind of in a more controlled environment, like New Orleans, like you said, the coaching, dude, I think all he has to do is be like Brock Purdy or like a version of that. He doesn't have to do way too much. And so we'll see how that pans out. But that we got a tier list, and let's do a cap on this tier list. Let's try to make it a little bit difficult for us. Let's say in the S tier, we could only put 4 teams total. 2 in the AFC, 2 in the NFC.
Okay.
Like, we can't surpass that. That's the code. And if anything, maybe, just because of how things go, we can debate or talk about having 4 AFC teams or 4, you know what I mean? But 4 teams in total, but we'll try to make it 2 on each in each conference. But everything else, and so Caleb Williams, we'll talk. Caleb Williams is like, we're not looking at y'all. Yeah. This is like, you're done. We'll see you next year. C is your more than likely your coaching staff is all over the place. It's new, but there's talent there. There's potential, but everything's just burnt to hell. B is going to be the teams that are just in the middle of the pack. They win games that they win games that they shouldn't. They lose games that you're surprised by because you think they're going to be better. They're going to perform better. So it's in that weird mix. And then, of course, A are the top dogs that we can't call elite yet, but they all have a quarterback. They all have a defense, something of that caliber. And then, of course, the S are the contenders of contending. But let's start this thing off. You want to go first?
Sure. Okay,
Go ahead.
so yeah, guys, we're gonna go back and forth, and then maybe at the end we'll kind of maneuver it around. At that point, hopefully, we'll go pretty quick on these. So I have the Arizona Cardinals. This team is just the fact that they have a new coaching staff. Kyler Murray is probably going to be out at least half the season, which, depending how Colt McCoy does, could be the whole season. Because I think they're going to tank, and so I have them at Caleb Williams. I think they are just going to be god awful this season. Maybe 4 wins or so. And they just they already traded their pick to the Texans last draft, and they got another pick going into next year. So to me, that all signals tank. So
Atlanta Falcons. We got. Hold on, let me fix this a little bit. We got Desmond Ritter starting at quarterback. It's going to be his first time in the driver's seat for the entire season. That worries me a lot. Quarterback's huge. Arthur Smith, second year. Of course, the pickup of Bijan is really good. Everyone's kind of doing this laughable. I think it's a meme having him at the third string running back. I'm pretty sure it's a meme. I'm pretty sure no one's like serious about it. Really can't tell. But he's going to be a focal point of the offense along with Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson, Kyle Pitts. I mean, this is a team. What's my man at USC? I traded him to Drake London. There's so many good pieces offensively, but it's still a puzzle that the pieces are not all there. It seems like they're missing a guy. I don't know what it is, like a speedster, or maybe it's Bijan that they're missing. I just don't know how he fits yet. But I'm gonna put them at C. Okay. And it is because I'm doing the thing that I usually don't like to do, is like I don't want to see the potential of the growth. I kind of want to wait because Ritter is interesting. I think he has these weird glimpses where he's that guy, and I believe him and I like him. But I want to see him as the lead of the band from the get-go. I don't want to see him as like a ooh, the rookie. He can't mess up. No, he's gonna mess up now, and it's gonna count. The losses are gonna mean a lot now. There's no more breaks, so yeah. See, I think that's good.
Yeah. So I have the Baltimore Ravens. Miles, I know you hate this team with a passion, being a Bengals fan. I'm going to put them in the A tier. I think that is relevant. They made the playoffs last year with Huntley as the quarterback. They had, bad offensive coordinator, bad offensive weapons. This year, it might take them a few games to kind of get in their groove with Todd Monken as their offensive coordinator. You got Zay Flowers, OBJ coming in. We don't really know the health of J.K. Dobbins. So the offense is going to look different. The defense is stout. They're in a tough division. We don't know if Lamar can stay healthy all season, how he's going to pan out. Is he going to be more of a passer? Is he going to be more of a runner this year? So they have high ceiling, and they have a pretty decent floor. So I think A is good, but that's a team to me that can either start strong or, look shaky with the new offensive scheme. So
I'm not a fool, Alex. I hope that's one thing you think I am not. I'm not a fool. I very, very much like to be ahead of the pack in many, many different things. And I'm going to be ahead of the pack here. Go ahead and take those Buffalo Bills and put them in the B tier for me.
Oh, wow.
This is a B tier team. There is nothing that they did in the offseason that really impressed me. The way the Cincinnati Bengals decimated them twice. Look, I'm going to say it. First game, dang near killed a player. Second game, killed the whole team. Burn them out. It was done. It was over. Cincinnati Bengals, that is, in the divisional championship. Back.
Yeah, you're back.
Can you hear me? But what have the Bills done? I don't know what they have done this offseason that's warranted them any type of praise. They lost Tremaine Edmonds, who was their defense, really. They're just older in the secondary. Mm-hmm. And then they have Josh Allen. Like, great. Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, what we talk about, where there's smoke, there's fire. Watch them probably go on a 2-game win streak, get some trouble with the Dolphins. This is a B tier team, and regardless of what their record is. I even think if they lose a lot of games, they're still a B tier team, and if they win a lot of games, they're still a B tier team. This is what they are. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if I'm there yet, but I'm definitely like
you
back of
will
the
be.
I'm
You
back
will
of the
be.
A for sure. I agree with your whole older take. The offense is just completely around, Josh Allen. So I have the Panthers here. That's going to be fun because I'm gonna give you my Bears, and then I'm gonna take your Bengals. But I have the Panthers. I really like Bryce Young. The offense, though, just scares me. The defense is great. They have Brian Burns. They didn't want to trade him over. I like what they're doing with the coaching staff, but I don't really see a lot of weapons on the offensive side. It's just like DJ Chark. I mean, he's good, but he doesn't really give me like wide receiver one vibes. Miles Sanders, I just think he really, succeeded just because he was on the Eagles last season. So I'm going to put them right behind the Falcons. I do think that the Falcons or the Panthers might be one of those teams that kind of, proves worthy this season, and they take a pretty big jump. But as of now, I think just given the roster and the rookie quarterback, the new coach, I think they're a C tier team to me. So
And yeah, I'll take the Bears. This is one's tough. And the reason why it's tough is because they were the first pick in the draft last year. To where it's like I have to ignore so many different things to give them some type of praise. And people are saying playoff MVP for this team. I love the DJ Moore pickup. Claypool, Mooney. I think they have a really good thing going, but I'm gonna put them right in front of the Falcons, still in that C tier category. I think their defense with gaining Tremaine Edmonds, I think that's great. Um, I think they have a lot of pieces that need to kind of mesh together and grow together. They're still a very, very young team. I feel like. I mean, I wish I could see what their average age is. They did pick up Darnell Wright out of Tennessee for their right tackle spot. I think that's going to bode well for their offensive line. I just don't. It's just hard for me to. It's the same thing with the Bengals, right? Once upon a time, the Cincinnati Bengals had the number one overall pick. Um, they went from the first overall pick to the fifth overall pick with Joe Burrow, and so it's just it's going to be interesting. But I think they can only grow so much. And this Eberflus guy is someone that there's that's the piece about the Bears that I feel like no one really cares about or talks about. This I think his first name is Greg or something. Eberflus is the head coach, and so we don't even know if he can coach yet. Screw what Justin Fields can do. We got to see if this coach can coach, and I don't know if he can. So I think C is like their ceiling at this moment.
yeah. So I got the Cincinnati Bengals, your team. I'm gonna put them in the S tier because I think they are in that top five conversation when it comes to winning the Super Bowl. We need to see them finally get over that like last game, I suppose. We're still waiting for them to get it done finally, but they're always going to be in the mix. They're always going to be in that conversation. Last year they started the season 0-2, didn't even matter. They still ended up beating the Bills at home in the snow, and so yeah, there's not much to really talk about here. They're a top two team in the AFC right now to me. So
Cleveland Browns. Man, it's just tough. It's such a weird team. People keep speculating like the Cleveland Browns are going to be this team that finally takes the AFC North. And in my personal opinion, they could have done that multiple times when Baker was there, even when Jacoby Brissett was there, because their roster is so good. I think Kevin Stefanski's a fabulous head coach. I think he does amazing. I guess I'll put them behind the Bills in the B tier team.
okay,
I think regardless of what their record is, they're a good football team. If they go, 7-10 or they go 10-7, they're a good football team. It shouldn't be anything that's overinflated. I think they have a good secondary. They have Myles Garrett, of course. They have great pieces all around, and so and they're in the AFC North, so they're going to get better as the year progresses. Oh
yeah.
wow, you get your team.
Yep.
Wow, what a
So,
coincidence. Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So I got the Cowboys. I know I'm going to be biased on this because this is my team, but I think at the end of the day, what it really comes down to is the NFC is pretty weak, right? To me, there's really only three teams that are a menace in that division, and that's going to be the Cowboys, Eagles, and 49ers. We saw that last season. Obviously, things are going to change this year. The Eagles, they
Mhm.
lost both of their coordinators. The Cowboys are getting all the flack. Oh, Kellen Moore's gone, whatever. But at the end of the day, I think we got better, right? We got Stephon Gilmore. We got Brandon Cooks. Gallup is, coming back off of his ACL injury. Deuce Vaughn looks really good in preseason. To me, the whole Zeke thing isn't going to be that big of a deal. And I'm not too worried about the whole training camp interceptions Dak thing. That's not who he really is as a quarterback. I think I'm not the this is our year guy, but I really think that we're in that also mix just because of the division being easier. If we were in the AFC, I'd be more concerned. But I think we're a top three team in the NFC, so I'm gonna put us over the Ravens. I think we're at least like a top 8 team in the NFL.
I think I'll play the Ravens this year if I'm not mistaken. That'll be a fun game.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure y'all play the Ravens this year. Um, Denver Broncos, man, damn.
they didn't
Hmm.
look too hot in their first preseason game. I'll just say that much.
And like I said, I'm not gonna, I don't want to do
Overreact.
that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Uh, I just don't know, man. I respect the hell out of Sean Payton, and everything he's done already has been just, I think anything and every that an S tier head coach would do, he has done already. With cutting out all the malarkey, and the Broncos, they've been good for years. They just had health issues and quarterback issues. So, and I think you can only go up from the season that they had last year. I think I want to bank on not even Russ. I'm not banking on Russ at all. I'm banking on the team. I'm banking on the collection of men to think about what they did last year. Have Sean Payton now in the building. This is a team I think they can make a few big games, and I think they want to take the Chiefs down. Go ahead and pick the Broncos and put them behind the Browns. I'm
Okay.
gonna put them in the B tier. Um, I just think if they stay healthy, I think they already lost their third string receiver
Tim
Tim
Patrick.
Patrick.
Yeah.
They already lost him, man. That's tough. But Marvin Mims, former Boomer, I have high hopes for him. So we love that. So yeah,
I have the Detroit Lions.
man, you got all the nice teams,
They
bro.
are
Shit.
a very public team. A lot of people like to cheer for Campbell. Top 5 offensive line. We're actually about to release a video on them on our main channel, so go check that out. Um, you know, I really like the Gibbs pickup. I think they're trending in the right direction, but I just don't know if they're really going to live up to the expectations that a lot of people have on this team. I've seen them already being ranked like the 4th best team in the NFC, or even in that like NFC championship discussion. I just think they have still a lot of holes on their defense. I really like their offense. They had a top 5 offense last year, but they had a bottom 3 defense, right? And
Mm.
so I'm going to put them right behind the Browns, I think. I think a lot of people normally are going to want this team in the A tier, but I don't really necessarily see them as an A tier team just yet. And so I think they're, above middle of the pack to me.
Okay. All right.
Green Bay
Green Bay
Packers.
Packers. Matt LaFleur,
Got a good
Christian
defense.
Watson. Got to get defense, offensive line, Elton Jenkins, David Bakhtiari. Can we stay healthy? Oh, I can't wait to see Quay Walker back in the mix of things. I
You
think he's
say
year 2.
Campbell,
Devondre Campbell. This is it. This is an 8.
Stokes.
It, it's really Jordan Love.
Yeah.
That's it. But the other pieces are so
All
good,
right. I'll
man.
ask you this question, and I'm not even trying to steer you a certain way. Can Jordan Love play what Aaron Rodgers was last season? So think of like mentally checked out Aaron Rodgers, whatever he was, worst season he's probably ever had, being a Hall of Famer. Can Jordan Love be that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
what
mean,
were they last year? Like an 8-win team, 9-win team?
yeah, and I think they want to rally behind him. Also, another great thing that Jordan Love kind of has, not really, is EOS, the element of surprise. Maybe if the offense looks a certain way, because whatever Jordan Love did last year, that was still um, under the reign of what Aaron Rodgers needed to get done. And so, one thing that I think it was David Bakhtiari, and yeah, I'm pretty sure he made a joke about, Jordan Love is awesome because he can actually take off and run. And that's going to be the first time in a while that, Green Bay fans have a guy that can take off and run. So I'm going to give them behind the Ravens.
Oh my, that's a okay.
I know it's bold, but I think but when you look at the galore of the team, it's like, where's the weak point? Rashawn Gary's a dog. You got Jari Alexander, Eric Stokes, like you said, Darnell Savage, the defensive line picking up Lucas Van Ness out of aisle, like it's there. And then offensive line wise, you know who the receivers are, the running backs are still there. And then I just gotta play. I mean, even if Jordan Love gives you a C+ season at quarterback, that's still an A team, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
That's still if he just does C+ activities, that's an A team in my personal opinion. So yeah, I like
I
that.
don't think I'm there yet. Kind of the same
You will
thing
be.
as like well, what I was gonna say is I can see the Packers winning the division. I think that I don't know
Yeah.
if that means they're an A tier team, but I really think that NFC North division is pretty wide open to me. That's what I'll say. So I have the Texans. I just don't see it with this team. I'm sorry. I like the direction they're moving. I like Will Anderson. Jalen Petrie good. CJ Stroud, I still have my questions. The receivers on that team are just bad. Robert Woods is old. Tank Dell might be the best receiver on that team. And, D'Amico Ryans, I like him. I think they're Caleb Williams to me. I'm sorry. I I see them as like a 5 or 6 win team. And I think with a team in the C tier, you can at least see a world where they make the playoffs. And I just don't see a world where the Texans are like in that playoff discussion. And that's even in a weak AFC South. And so I like what they have on the defensive side of the football. I think they'll be competitive. We saw it last year. But at the end of the day, I just don't think they really have the weapons on the offensive side to really scare anybody. And so
Yeah.
I have them top of the Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I could see that. All right. Indianapolis Colts, Miles, remove your heart from this decision. I think that put him in front of the Bears. I
Okay.
think they're I think they're slightly better than the Bears. This whole Jonathan Taylor malarkey, I just hope it gets cleared up. I think if they have him and AR, I think there's a possibility that he just got the starting nod, so he'll be there week 1 starting for the team. I think he shows a type of poise. I think he showed poise in the preseason game of his first going. He wasn't scared to take off and run. He wasn't scared to stay in the pocket and create. I love his release. It's so quick. It's a trigger. And I think when he gets his wheels going, he's hard to bring down. He's going to be hard to stop. And then defensively, picking up Julius Brents out of Kansas State that we discussed. We talked to him at the Senior Bowl. There's so many good pieces. Picking up North Carolina, Josh Downs in the slot, Michael Pittman. I got a big season for him coming up.
Even Alec Pierce.
I think this team is going to be better than what people might think.
Mm-hmm.
And it could, like you said with the who was it? Like you said with the Ravens, it could take some time. But if they play a Texans team, or if they play a really good team on their bad day, and they get some kinks out and they learn some things about themselves, I think they have an opportunity to make. And then Shaquille Leonard, if he's there, all season that they didn't have last season, if he's there all season, it's good. And then Shane Steichen, former OC for the Eagles, being the head coach now, I think whatever he's been able to do with Jalen Hurts who else did he have? He had some other quarterbacks. I can't really think right now, but he has a litany of quarterbacks that he's been able to really groom
Hmm.
and help, get to another echelon. So
Right.
yeah, I think that's good right there.
I like what you were saying about Steichen to where, he had Jalen Hurts and now he has a player that's very similar to him, that can run the football. And so I think the scheme fit really works out for the Colts, right?
Right.
And, this is a team that's at home against the Jags week 1 and like division game at home, kind of like you were saying, element of surprise, come in there. Rich just got nothing to
Ugh.
lose. I mean, they could.
Oh, Alex, you gotta calm down, bro.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm getting too excited.
Okay,
Come
all
on,
right.
man.
I'm not that one. I'm not. I'm just saying. All right. So I have the Jags. Once again, I like to kind of pause the brakes when it comes to these teams that everyone gets really excited about because I don't know. I just feel like a lot of teams just don't really live up to those expectations. Trevor Lawrence in the first half of that playoff game had 4 interceptions, and sure, he did come back, but I just feel like we saw 7 weeks of the Jags, and everyone just got real excited from that, and that's really it. But I still think they're worthy of an A. They got Calvin Ridley coming, Tank Bigsby's coming on their team. The offense looks really good. I think the defense still is a little shaky. Trayvon Walker, I think, should take a step up this season. I think it could be a little biased just because I think their division is kind of easy, and I don't really see them, being in that, Super Bowl kind of thing or AFC Championship. But I'll put them behind the Ravens. You think this is high?
I don't think shit.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
I wouldn't do that, but let's just get to the Chiefs.
Okay.
Were you done with the
Yeah, I'm
Jags?
done. I'm done.
Okay. Chiefs, this is the thing. They're S tier team. Put it in front of the Bengals. They're Super Bowl champs. We all get this. Two things. Their offense it's not slowing down, but it's getting figured out a little bit better. You could see even when remember 2 years ago, AFC Championship, that Chiefs team should have went to the Super Bowl. It should have beaten the Rams. I still stand by that. Bengals, I love the Bengals. I would like to say that we played really good. We matched up really good. It was an emotional game. If you remember, the Chiefs were up like 21-3 at halftime. We come back, we make a party. That team, the AFC Championship losers to the Bengals 2 years ago, was better than the team that won the Super Bowl last year. I personally believe that. And I see a decline, and I'm not gonna ignore it, but it's still an amazing decline. We just don't know how far it's going to drop this year, or it could stay the same as it did last year, and we'll just see if teams can perform. That's my first point. My second point, if they lose Chris Jones, for whatever reason, I think there's still contract situations, monies that's not being handled. I don't think he showed up to camp yet. I could be wrong on that. They are a B. If they lose Chris Jones, I might be bullish to call them a B. I love Patrick Mahomes. I have no faulty with him. I'm not going to watch the quarterback documentary, but I respect the hell out of him. I think he's the Michael Jordan of our generation with quarterbacks. But Chris Jones does so much for that defense. And so if they lose him, I'm not going to say B. That's weird, I guess. Even though I think they'll be an A tier team if they lose him. But they got to keep him because he's really good at giving the ball back to Patrick. I think they work really well that way. And there's a lot of missing pieces in there. Not missing pieces, but question marks. Sky Moore, is he going to make that jump? As Juju's gone, even though I didn't think anything of him. In VS, is he going to make those same, performing
Guy to Clemson.
Yeah, got it. Oh, Justin Ross. Okay, yeah. Is he going to stay healthy? And yeah, he's been making some noise too. I got him in my fantasy league in our dynasty league.
Mm-hmm.
Picked him up. So yeah, a lot of question marks. But I think if anyone's going to figure out the answers, it's going to be Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. So they got their S, they got their crown. Just be on the lookout this year.
Yeah. I have the Raiders. I'm really glad I got this one because I'm just gonna say I bet the under 7.5 wins. I feel very, very confident about that bet that I made. This team, are we sure Josh McDaniels is a good coach? Like, I don't know.
We're very
Uh,
sure he's not.
is Jimmy G, like, what is Jimmy G doing on that team? I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me.
You know where to put
I,
him.
yeah, I'm putting him in Caleb Williams, guys.
Yep. Yep.
Their defense, like, it's bad. It's top five. It's bad. Uh, the offense. Josh Jacobs, like they're not signing him. To me, that kind of means that they want to move in the tank direction. Devontae Adams has expressed his anger. They got rid of Darren Waller. To me, this is just giving me like we're tanking kind of thing, like not indirect or not directly, but indirectly. And so this team, once again, we talk about divisions. I'd be shocked if they even got third in this division. So yeah, I just see them as being bad this year.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I should have this one. I don't know if I should have this team.
Chargers.
Chargers. Go ahead and put them behind the Bills.
Okay.
Like,
I don't hate that.
I mean, I'd be even remiss to put them behind the Browns, but we'll put them behind the Bills. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Brandon Staley, are you gonna get fired? Justin Herbert, he already got paid, right? He got paid. Yeah, so he's there. Staley, are you gonna keep your job? This is it. This is truly it. I literally thought it was 2 years ago you were gonna get fired.
I would have loved to see Sean Payton on this team.
Oh,
that would have just been beautiful.
Oh, if you're hearing me say how much I would hate it, that just means how amazing it would have been.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, I'm still shocked he's a head coach for this team. Of all the compliments that Herbert is praised with, of course you have these. How many games do you think total? Keenan Allen and Mike Williams miss. What do you think? Huh?
I would say they might both play like 10 games apiece.
I say between the both, they'll miss 9 games together. Add them up. One will miss 4, one will miss 5, maybe one will miss a little bit more. I do still like the Quentin Johnston pickup. I think he brings a lot of different, just a different style of a big target receiver, goal line person, goal line target as well. We'll see if Justin Herbert, after he's got the bag, what he turns into. I don't think he's a money grabber, but he got the contract. We'll just see. And there's too many questions. Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack is still on their defense, but we thought that was going to be a thing last year. And what Bosa's could literally run the league if they were just healthy, but that's a situation. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. I don't know, but I think they're a B tier team as of now.
I'm glad I got this team. I've been talking about it the whole time. What are the vibes I'm getting? What's the direction we're moving here? And to me, sending Jalen Ramsey over the Dolphins gives me we aren't competing this year. Their offensive line, the Rams, is very bad. They have 3 really good players. Maybe. They have Aaron Donald, Matt Stafford, and Cooper Kupp. That's it. There's 3 guys. The rest of their team is not good.
You forgot a guy.
Okay, I know. Sean McVay. But what I will state about Sean McVay, once again, is a guy that was considering moving away from the team. And so to me, that just means that I just don't know if he has confidence in this squad, competing.
That could be because he's like bored. That doesn't mean he's bad.
He's bored because he's not. He's coaching a team that he doesn't see success with. It's like LeBron playing with the Lakers and being like, I don't know if this team is going to do anything. And so
does that mean LeBron's
he just kind of
bad?
shows up? No, but what I'm saying is he just shows up. He goes 0-4 against the Nuggets and whatever, right? And so sure, I have to keep him in the C because this is a team that, could shock everyone and be like, all right, Stafford's still that guy. Cooper Kupp's going to have that triple threat once again. Sean McVay is proving himself still as a top 5 coach. But this roster is not competitive to me. And so I'm going to have them in the back of the sea. I think this team is a 7-win, 6-win team this year. Once again, we still don't even know the health of Stafford. We've seen guys, quarterbacks fall off dramatically fast. We've seen Drew Brees. We've seen Ben Roethlisberger. We've seen Peyton Manning, Matt Ryan. We don't know the time of Matt Stafford when he's going to fall off. And so I could just see this team starting off slow and just start sending guys off. You know, Aaron Donald, you're too good to be on this team. We're going to send you elsewhere. We're going to send you to the Cowboys. I don't freaking know. And you know that we'll take them open arms.
Yeah, you fucking will.
But sure. But I don't know. You know, to me, it's just weird to me that we're seeing guys like Kupp and Donald like on a team. To me, that I don't see them as a playoff contender. So
yeah. Miami Dolphins. Offensive line, they did nothing. I feel like to help their offensive line. Tua.
That whole division has not great offensive lines.
Right. Tua. I want to say he figures out a way to play all 17 games.
Okay.
If he figures out a way to play all 17 games, Jalen Waddle, Reek, you know, whatever they do in the backfield, they have so many speedsters. They, of course, lost Ramsey. Probably for a few weeks. We'll see how long that injury lasts. Dude, I think Alex, I don't talk out of my ass, Alex. It's a gut. It's a gut feeling. Got to put them in front of the Cowboys, man.
That's where I'd put them, I think.
I think this team is right there, man. They lost Mike Gesicki, which is unfortunate. Who did they?
He wasn't really like a scheme fit for them.
Who did they pick in their first round of the draft? What am I not thinking about?
They didn't have one because of the whole Tom Brady situation. One, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why my brain's okay. I'm like
they did get A-Chain.
A-Chain, yeah. They got him out of A&M. They got like I said, they had Ramsey. I wish he was healthy because I'd be more confident.
Their defense is really stout to me.
So yeah, I think they're right there, and I think if they had Tua a little bit longer, I think they could have done a little bit more damage.
They played the Bills to 3 points in the playoffs with a third string quarterback. Remember that? So you went mute again. Sorry, guys, technical difficulties. All right, we can.
But I mean, the Bills are just a B tier team, so that doesn't mean shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead for the Vikings, though.
All right, Vikings last season. We saw it in the past 2 seasons, right? 2 seasons ago, they got really unlucky when it came to losing close games, and then last season they won close games. And so I think they're going to come back to earth a little bit. I remember last season I said they were going to win the NFC North. The whole Aaron Rodgers thing kind of, was confusing to me. And this year, I think they come back down to earth. They have a great offense, but Dalvin Cook getting sent away. I hope Brian Flores can fix their defense because last season their defense was horrendous. It's the reason why they lost to the Giants in the playoffs. Once again, they were -3 on point differential. Whenever they played good teams, they got stomped, right? They played the Cowboys. Cowboys beat them in Minnesota like 40-3. And so I'm going to put them, I just think with the upside of their offense, I think it's okay, but the defense kind of scares me. They give me kind of Lions vibes, so I'm gonna put them close to the Lions. I'll put that. I think right there is correct to me. I think they're like an 8 or 9 win team this season, so I think they are definitely going to regress.
And the Patriots, I love Bill O'Brien. I love that a lot of places where he goes, Houston Texans once upon a time with Deshaun Watson, that was a team that was a threat each year to make a playoff push. You know, Deshaun Watson once upon a time was a top 3 quarterback. His head coach, Bill O'Brien. Patriots just picked up Zeke. People might think that's like a throwaway type deal, but Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke, that's going to break defenses down. I don't care what anyone says. That's going to break down defenses in the AFC East. I I think the only thing that scares me is their receiving core, but I love the Hunter Henry Mike Gesicki duo. I think they're going to try to run that. I think it's called 12 personnel. I think when you
Yeah,
have two tight
12.
ends,
Yeah.
they're going to try to do that 12
Yeah, they
personnel,
definitely will.
old school, something that they try to do with Hernandez and Gronk. Um, I'm going to put them in front of the Broncos.
Okay.
I still believe in their defense. I still believe in Bill Belichick. I would like to put them higher. I just want to see Mac. Mac, this is the last time I'm going back for you, bro. This is the last time I'm going back for you, bro. I have been.
I think he's got a short leash.
Who have you met in your entire life, Alex, that defends Mac Jones more than I do? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Maybe
because
like
I
a
see it.
maybe a Patriots fan.
I don't know, man. I see
I was
it.
gonna say I think you might even defend him more.
He's talented. I think he's great. It's just consistency, and I think it's lack of weapons. I really don't think they have that many of weaponry. So
I think putting Patricia as your OC last year was just so cocky. It's like one of the cockiest things I've ever seen.
yeah.
And it just, it's an offensive league and these quarterbacks just need help. And if they don't get it, they're just not going to succeed. So,
And I think Bill O'Brien really, really like beautifully fills that hole a lot. So we'll see.
yeah. So I got the Saints, a team we were talking about earlier. It really just comes down to like Dennis Allen to me. It's a team that's just underperformed since losing Sean Payton. There's been a lot of quarterback question marks, but people still have question marks on Derek Carr, and I think he's still a top 15 quarterback, but we'll just have to see. I think they have the best roster in that division, and I'm trying not to get too biased just because of the NFC South. I think I'm going to put them next to two teams that to me are very similar to each other, which is the Patriots and the Broncos. I think, all these teams kind of pride themselves on defense, and we just need to see what they can do from the offensive side of the football. And I will put them, I think, behind the Patriots. I think around here. I'm not sure where I'd want to put them in the B, but I think they're like a B tier team. So,
Okay. New York Giants. Take that team, Alex, and you put them right in front of the Bills.
oh my.
You put them in front of the Bills, Alex.
Oh.
That's what you got to do.
All right, man.
Look, hey, Andrew Thomas, Evan Neal. You got two stout, athletic tackles. You're gonna hate this. I think they have a sexy defensive line, man. Sexy. You got Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence is still over there. Leonard Williams. They have good pieces defensively. Getting Darren Waller year 2 with Brian Daboll. Saquon playing for another franchise tag. He needs it. He ain't gonna get no contract.
Oh, they got Okereke too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, like they got. I think I look, at least for me, I'm putting on the line their roster. Screw their performance. I get to go out and my how do I say, my evidence or my bragging points is their roster. And if people are just going to go off, well, they didn't do it last year or the year before, or they were bad a few years ago, that's fine. That's fine. You want to go off their history? That's fine. I'm just going to use their roster. I'm going to use the weak NFC that we talk about. They'll lose to the Cowboys week 1, right? That's who they play?
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll lose to the Cowboys. That's fine. They'll beat other teams. I mean, if someone has your number, they have your number. I don't think because the Cowboys consistently beat them necessarily makes them a terrible team. I mean, unless the Cowboys are shit, then I just make a great team beating a good team multiple times. I think that's fine. I mean, I'd be remiss if you see if the Bills and the Giants play in a season, where's your heart out? If what do you think about that matchup, Bills and Giants?
I would definitely take the Bills.
Oh yeah, Cowboys fan, I guess. All right. I think it's closer than that.
The questions I have with the Giants is just their weapons on the offensive side. I don't really see a lot out of like Hyatt. Well, we'll see. And Waller was a great addition, right? But I think it's the receivers that just have question marks to me.
All right.
That and you're right. The defensive line is definitely stout. That's the strongest point of their team, and they have good tackles too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I they just like don't really. They have like a. They're just. I would be shocked if they did really good or like really bad. To me, they're kind of just like middle of the pack. So if it were me, I'd probably just have them like lower on the B tier.
Yeah.
So I have the Jets. I think I really like the Jets this season. I'm going to put them higher than the Jags in the A tier. I think it might take a second to, get in their groove, but, this defense that they have, top five defense, they have the defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year, or rookie, sorry. You add in like a refreshed, revitalized Aaron Rodgers, whom I don't think is washed by any means. I still think he is like a top five quarterback. And it seems like he's really getting along more with these rookies and everything. And I think I have the Dolphins higher than them, but I think they're in the mix to win that division. And, last season they went 7-10. They started off strong, but they had one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL in Zach Wilson. You change him out with a top five. Hey, let's say Aaron Rodgers isn't top five. He's top 10, right? That's still to me a really good team. And so I see them as a Super Bowl dark horse and a team that should make the playoffs.
Philadelphia Eagles, go ahead and put it behind the Bengals on the S tier. Like you said, losing your OC and your DC, that's going to hurt. You're going to feel that. I think they did a really good job in the draft. It couldn't be praised even more.
Mm-hmm.
I think if their players hit on a spectrum that is hyped, it could be something special that the Eagles do. But with all that said, I think there's a lot to be concerned with losing Shane Steichen. I don't want to overlook that at all. And losing your defensive coordinator when I don't know if the Eagle, I mean, you would know better than me, NFC wise, how consistent their defense was. Like I'm not really.
I feel like their defense is a little overrated to me. I thought their offense, obviously, to me, was crazy and really good behind that like offensive line. Jalen Hurts, the receivers, like their offense is top three, probably, right?
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the season, we started kind of seeing how teams were starting to expose their defense. The Cowboys played them in December. We scored like 40 points on them. Mahomes on a bum ankle, scored like 38 points on them. So
Yeah.
I think their defense, to me, it's still good, but I just feel like it's a little overrated. It's not elite to me. It's like a tier below that. So
Jalen Carter,
right.
Sidney Brown, the Illinois safety that we
That's the
like.
other thing. They're some of their guys might be getting older and or they're leaving, but I think they are doing a good job replacing them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
right.
yeah. And so they have a lot. We just gotta wait and see if they can keep that S tier glory. But I think that's where I got them right now.
Yeah. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they made really good moves in the offseason, getting some defensive lineman help. Watt is insane to me. Pickett, the more I think about Pickett, the more I like him. And I go back and I didn't think I would like him. And now, seeing in his last like 7 games, he only threw 1 interception. I think I'm going to put him like right here. I think their division's tough. Mike Tomlin has shown year in and year out that this team is always going to be in the mix. If they make the playoffs, they're going to be probably the back of the wild card. It really is just going to be dependent on their offense because their defense is scary as hell. They give everyone in the AFC North, fits with that pass rush that they have, and so I also like a lot what they did in the draft. Darnell Washington playing that 12 formation. I know Joey Porter's kind of to you, but still, I think they're like a mid-level team, so I have them B.
Okay. 49ers, put them in front of the Bengals.
Oh, okay.
This team, man. This I don't want to go there. This team has the capabilities of hanging with anyone and then blowing also the brakes off of anyone. The defense is still intact. I am not worried, but cautious on D'Amico Ryans not being there. They had Robert Salah 1 year. They do great defensively. He leaves. Bring in D'Amico Ryans for a season. He does great. He leaves. I'm not even 100% sure who they have at DC now, but I'm sure he's probably well capable of putting this team back into the NFC Championship. Offensively is just where the hemorrhage is, but the quarterback position, right? I'm going to still give him that same, what I did with the Packers. If he's just, Jordan Love's just C plus, it's an A team still to me. I think if, whether it be Brock Purdy, who we don't know anything about yet still, Trey Lance, who we don't know anything about still, and all you dumb idiots talking up Sam Darnold, you're just proving your IQ. You're just proving that you're not smart. I don't know. Like, if you're trying to bank on Sam Darnold being better than either two of those guys, I can't help you. I can't help you. And so I think even at having a C- quarterback, this is still an S tier team. I think that's how phenomenally great they are, especially defensively. Losing, I think, a few corners it's going to be kind of probably icky, but I don't think the corners made them great in the first place. But having Debo lose a little, he lost some weight, probably move a little bit better, stay up a little bit better. That's good. And then they have the best tackle that I've ever seen. I think Trent Williams is better than Joe Thomas, who is my GOAT of tackles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Trent Williams is the greatest tackle that's ever played the game. So yeah.
Okay. So I got the Seahawks. I'm glad I got this team because I'm really hot on the Seahawks this year. I've done pretty good research on Geno Smith, and it seems like he just really just took a turn on his career. He sat behind Russell Wilson, sat behind Phillip Rivers, and I think that kind of humbled him. And once he got that starting spot back, I think it just put a fire underneath him, and he really has shown leadership. And I would be one of the last people to say, oh, he just had one good year. But I really think this is the true Geno Smith that we're seeing. He was one of the most accurate quarterbacks last season. Now you get him JSN, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Charbonnet in the draft. They want to run the football. Kenneth Walker, like everything. And then they're building Legion of Boom 2.0. Pete Carroll, top 10, top 5 coach. This is a team that I thought was going to be the worst team in the NFL last season. The whole Drew Lock thing, Geno Smith thing, once again, was just like, give me tank vibes, and they just proved me wrong, like hella bad. And so I'm on the Seahawks train. Like I they have one of the best fans. They have great home field advantage on Lumen Fields. To me, this is like a dark horse Super Bowl team, especially in like an NFC that's just really weak to me. And I even think they could win the division still. Like they went 0-3 against the 49ers last season, but if Purdy really takes a step back, and
it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think it's like outlandish to say that. So I'm gonna put him. I still think I'm just gonna put him like at the top of B, but I think this team is definitely like close to an A tier team to me. It's just I think I'm just hotter on them than most people, so I'm being a little hesitant. But to me, like I can see this team winning 10 plus games. So
yeah. Buccaneers. Look, I don't like the whole. I'm not a big media, whatever the media says. I like to genuinely. I like to hear what the media has to say because unlike personalities like Chris Sims, like I don't hear the media and ignore it. I hear the media, ingest what I like and I spit out what I hate. And I think I hate everything that they're saying about the Buccaneers as of right now. Very oldish type of team, but I still think Baker is a good quarterback. I think he's better than whatever the 49ers
Trask.
have.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kyle Trask.
No, I think they're better than I think Baker's
better than Purdy.
Oh yeah. What? Hell yes, he's better than Purdy. And I can't this is the thing, right? This is a thing where I told people The Giants, if you have a certain history, like go with that. I'm banking on Baker. I'm banking on Baker. I think this is his last chance, his last opportunity. I think he knows that. And I also think this is the first structured organization that he's been with a training camp, with an all season. I mean, what do we the Browns to be a quarterback for the Browns? I'm sorry, like that's not great.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. That's gonna hurt you. And he took them to the playoffs. Like we forget about this. And of course, having a Carolina stint that was weird and awkward. And, I mean, that's not a place that you really want to hang on the success of a quarterback when you're playing with the Carolina. Like, let's not do this. And then what he had with LA, for what it was, you've already spoke about what type of team LA was last year. So I feel like he's shown that he hasn't been given a legitimate fair shake. His personality's changed. Looks like he's more of a team guy. He's always been a team guy, just a little bit out of the limelight, a little out of the camera media. Mike Evans is his receiver. When Mike Evans speaks to Baker, he's going, yes, sir. Like it's like Chris Scott, like it's yes, sir. There's no more ego. And I think
Godwin was like one of the best receivers last year when it comes to receptions and stuff.
I would take. I think I would take Baker last year not over Tom Brady, but I think it's
that was my follow-up question because last season, the Bucks, I always knew they were frauds. So I think that was kind of my question to you is, if last season they went 8-9 or whatever they went, do you think Baker can keep them around that 8-9 level? So that was kind of my question. Like, was Tom Brady the problem then? Or is there a bigger, deeper problem?
I don't think he was the problem, but he definitely wasn't the solution.
You think he was like regressing?
I just think at some point when you have 20 plus years of concepts, films, and your game is on full display for people to inspect, and then on top of that you're regressing physically, it's just a matter of time, right? And, if Tom Brady was still in his years where he was really consistently hitting the target, I mean they probably go to the NFC Championship. Possibly, if he's back to where he's always been, respectably, they're probably an NFC Championship. But he digressed physically, and I think Baker has. I mean, he's 28. I think Baker 28, 29.
Yeah,
something around there. Like he's still in his quarterback prime. Like Baker's not scared. I think that's my number one thing. I know he's not scared.
Yeah,
I know he's gonna be ready for the moment. Let's put him in front of the Colts.
Okay.
I'm remiss to put him behind the Broncos, or in front of the Broncos, but I think I like them right there.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with your Baker takes in that I think he's overhated. Even just as a person, I don't really understand why he gets so much hate. But yeah, that's whatever. I will say the performance he had on the Rams, signing with that team and then coming to Thursday Night Football, leading them to I said this before, that was the best quarterback performance I've seen that entire season. It was insane. Anyone that knows football deep down knows that what he did was just crazy. So I got the Titans. I think they can win the division. I'm not going to put them up there with the Jags just because I like the Jags roster a little bit more, but I do think people are kind of sleeping on this team a little bit. Mike Vrabel, was he won Coach of the Year, right? 2 years ago? Yeah, he had to have because they were the number one seed. Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill. Did he not?
I have no idea.
I think he did. I think he won the year that the Bengals beat them. I could be wrong. But anyways, regardless, I think he's a top 5-10 coach. I think Tannehill's another quarterback that I think gets kind of overhated. This is a guy that's been in the league for 10 years as a starting quarterback, however long it was. And, sure, he hasn't really gotten in that top 10 combo, but, you add DeAndre Hopkins onto that team. The guy from Arkansas, forgetting his name, receiver. Now it's
Treylon Burks.
Treylon Burks. You got him, Okonkwo, Derrick Henry, and then that defense is just going to be stout just because of the way they play football. Once again, this is a team last year that played with Josh Dobbs as their quarterback down to the wire with the Jags to go to the playoffs. Like, let's remember this. If it wasn't for a few fluky things, this team could have went to the playoffs last year. But once again, with all that being said, I'm still going to put them at the bottom of the B tier just because I don't really love their roster. But what I'm saying is, I think with Vrabel as their coach and just kind of the aura that he's brought along this team, they can kind of shock people. That's where I'm at with them.
1 second. Battery. We love what we do with batteries, man.
All right, so last team we got the Commanders here, and then I guess we can go through real quickly and just try to talk about the tiers. So very, very curious to see what you do with the Commanders here.
I like the Commanders. I really do. Where's their weakness? I don't know too much about their offensive line on the top of my head. I think what Baker has, Sam Howell has. I think they're cut from the same cloth. They don't really care. They just ball out. I love that. Whip and arm. He has element of surprise on his help, on his side. Jahan Dotson, Scary
McLaurin.
Terry, and who else am I forgetting? They have a third. They have
Samuel.
a third guy.
Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel. 3 weapons there, and then having Eric Bieniemy, right, as your offensive coordinator has to bring in some type of new echelon of offensive firepower. And this is Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is kind of like pre-show for when or if he's going to get a head coaching job. So I'm pretty sure he's going to have this offense ready. And I think in the NFC, it's about scoring. That's what it tells me. I think there's only 2 or 3 defenses that I really give a real legitimate nod to. And other than that, I think the defenses are kind of trash.
Yeah.
But if that offense can really just rip points, and they have a good defense, picking up Emmanuel Forbes as their corner, who was my corner number 2 or 3, I can't remember, who I like a lot. They have a shot. But I'm gonna put them in front of the Buck. I want to put them in the B, but I'm just going off roster and my hopes. But yeah, that's kind of where I think they sit right now.
Okay. You want to go through this all the way down?
Yeah. This is pretty. I don't know. As I look through it more, I kind of like it.
I think there's a couple of things I would maybe change, but I think I generally like it. I think the S tier is pretty okay. I personally would have the Bengals over the 49ers. I don't know if it's like kind of a minuscule thing.
No, but, I mean, yeah. I think it's just too tough to.
Yeah. A tier, you seem to have an opinion on the Jags.
Yes. And the only thing I think that is giving me hope for the Jags is Doug Peterson, and that's all. Out of nowhere, Evan Ingram becomes the second coming of a player. I did forget about Calvin Ridley. Yeah. I think he's going to, tear people to shreds. It's just the defensive part is what's really. It's really, I mean, if I can only name like 3 players on your defense, I don't know. Yeah. I'm going to say that's going to be a huge hole. And then offensive line wise, I don't know if they cleaned up everything. And I think the way they won last year against the Chargers in that playoff game, and then who did they lose to? Who did they?
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Which Mahomes came out for a couple drives.
Yeah,
it didn't really end up mattering, but I'm okay to move them down to the B. What I would say then is that we need to move the Packers to the B.
That's fine.
Okay,
I think that's probably why I have. Yeah, I think that. Yeah. I think that's fine.
Way. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay,
that's fine.
How far would you have moved the Jags?
Probably there, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, probably right there. Um,
Yeah, I feel comfortable with all those teams in the A. If it were me, I'd probably still move the Bills up, and not even necessarily that. I'd probably just move them higher than like
where
I'd.
would you put them?
I think I'd at least move. I don't know because I feel you have Green Bay still like pretty high. Even my like ceiling with Green Bay is still like maybe just over the Lions, but if you want to, it's fine. It's not
Like,
that big of a deal.
shit.
I think they're still like a B.
Uh-huh.
They're in that B area, which I'm okay with. We don't have to get like too insane, which like switching teams. But
Uh, what about C?
um,
I don't. No, I think I might be just biased. I was gonna say
what team?
Panthers. Panthers should be before the Falcons, and
Oh, uh,
I just think their defense is gonna carry them like
yeah.
they did last
I don't
year.
know because I think the Falcons have a really good offense. I think they're kind of different.
Yeah.
I think they're both like really when it comes to winning the division. I think the Falcons and the Panthers are like probably have the same odds to like win the division if that makes sense. The Falcons to me, I just like their offense more with Arthur Smith running the football with Bijan. You got maybe Kyle Pitts, Drake London kind of taking a step up, and then on the Panthers side, they're just going to win more games, like you said, playing defense really.
Who are
So
you more confident in their success? Desmond Ritter or Bryce Young this upcoming season?
Bryce Young,
And this only in this next season.
Bryce Young.
And you don't think that kind of gives them a nod over
I
the
don't know because
Falcons?
I maybe I'm overshooting the whole Bijan thing.
Okay, I see.
I really just think like to me the Falcons have like four guys that I trust more on offense than like anyone on the Panthers.
Mhm.
I trust Pitts, London, Bijan, and even probably Algier more than like almost anyone I would take on the Panthers.
Mhm.
I think if DJ Chark is your receiver one with like an aging Thielen,
Yeah.
I just don't like that. I mean, I would still consider it just because it's like almost like whatever. It's like coin flippy to me. But
Mhm.
I think the Falcons to me are going to be that like team that gets 9 wins this year.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
why I have them there.
All right.
Um, I think tier wise, I feel okay everywhere else.
Mhm.
Um, I'm probably biased, but I would consider moving Bears to the B at the back. I'm biased, I think.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely
Uh,
not.
yeah, I think I'm okay tier wise at least. I would definitely switch teams here and there, but I think everyone's in the right tier. You'd have no one else in the A.
Mhm.
Like, was
Mhm.
there another time? I just remember you saying Jags when I did it that you were
Yeah, it was just for them to be not be in the A. I thought that was
yeah.
not. Yeah, I think everyone else kind of. Viking or Lions over Vikings. How'd you get there?
Um, I trust their offense more than I do the
Yeah.
Vikings. I think even though I think Dalvin Cook isn't what other people think he is, I'm more saying that the team's going to regress. I think it's a path thing, right?
Hmm.
The Lions last season they ended the year 8-2, and so I think they're on the path of good direction, right? They had two first round picks. They got Campbell and Jameer Gibbs, and then the Vikings they lost a running back, and I think I don't know. I think with the offensive line being like top five and them just being able to really have like a top five offense, to me, I trust their offense more than I do the Vikings. And then I think their defenses are pretty similar, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Defenses are the same, and then the offense on the Lions is better than the offense on the Vikings. That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Like, I
That's
think in my eyes, if I were to play a team, I would rather play the Vikings than play the Lions. Because the Lions to me give more of like a gritty, scarier vibe with their offense and Dan Campbell and all that than that is the Vikings.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good explanation. I think the Vikings offense can take a next. I think they're going to take a next step, like a bigger step. Like
So them losing Thielen and Dalvin Cook doesn't do anything for you. Another thing too, their offensive line was like really shaky last year.
Alex, how do I feel about running backs, man? How do I feel about? I don't give a shit about running backs. Losing Dalvin Cook is a plus, just because they now get to plug in Madison or any other backup running back, and the league not know what this guy can do. That's a plus in my opinion. TJ Hawkinson. I don't know if people are forgetting about him, but I
Yeah,
think Kirk Cousin and TJ Hawkinson have a legitimate opportunity to have like a
I think Kirk.
Lamar.
I think Kirk was one of the most like pressured quarterbacks last season.
Yeah,
And so, we've talked about Penei Sewell and that Lions offensive line, and to me, there's just a lot more,
yeah,
solidness when it comes to. But I agree, like the combination of Kirk Hawkinson and JJ is wild.
dude,
But other than them,
and I have the things, man. I have the rookie gift. I have the gift. It's been what's the last rookie I've been wrong on, like dead wrong on? I'm Trey Lance, I guess, but I mean, if you want to go that far, but
all right.
I
So
think
what did because this is a
Addison
new. I was
clears.
gonna say this is a new thing coming from you because in the draft you were talking about Quentin Johnston. So what do you see? Give your Addison take right now.
It's Quentin Johnston. He's my favorite wide receiver out of the bunch. But if you're telling me Jordan Addison goes to the Vikings and he now gets to be paired up with, I mean, it's the fit. It's the fit that I like. It's if Jordan Addison was on the fucking like I don't even know Cardinals, I'm not banging my drum for it. Like I'm
Mm,
not doing all that. But it's the fit of Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, KJ Osborne, and Jordan Addison. Like KJ, I mean, he's gonna ball. Like I think he's good. But Hawkinson and Kirk can have a Lamar and Mark Andrews connection, and that's second behind what Kelsey and Mahomes do. In my personal, like they could have the third quarterback to tight end connection in the league. And if JJ is going to get double coverage, I promise you, Jordan Addison is smoking whoever's on him.
mm,
I promise you. Like he clears Adam Thielen, of course, and whoever else. I think Addison. I think Addison's just great with JJ. Like it's crazy that happened. Like
mm.
I think them two together is just crazy. But yeah, I think they're gonna. Just offensively, I think defensively, I think they still have a lot to pick up. But offensively, I think it's an offensive game in the NFC. But
Yeah,
what do you got? Anything else?
I don't think so. I think
Wow.
we did pretty decent. The
All
the
right.
B tier is very confusing, but I you
Mm.
know I think all those teams are just kind of like 9-win, 8-win
There's
teams to
question
me.
marks, all of them.
Yeah,
All of them
yeah,
have a question mark in some form or fashion.
right.
And so I can't wait to see the comment section, guys. Let us know. Tell us how pissed you are off. Tell us how happy you are about wherever your team might land or your opponents. But make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See y'all next time.